Hello, good evening and welcome to my humble model railway, Bedstead Junction. Now this evening we'll be looking at one train in particular, and it's one that you can see going around the layouts now, and it's just arrived through the post today, brand new arrival, okay, and didn't order it all that long ago actually, and it's come through the post pretty quickly, a lot more quickly than I actually expected, and here it is. Now what we're looking at is a magnificent, in my opinion, 280 locomotive GWR freight locomotive, the 2800 class. Absolutely superb. I mean, I'm enjoying watching this go around the track. I will confess, when I've been running it this afternoon, I've been running it in, so to speak, the first thing I do when I check a new model is to make sure that it at least runs, which it did. It ran straight out of the box, that was fine. But the wheels were quite dirty, so they need a nice clean, and I've given it a nice oiling, and it's running better and better and better as time goes on, so enjoying it more and more actually. And now this locomotive got one thing in common with all the others on here, on my layout, and we might get to cover them all. I mean, this might be a longer video than I planned, in which case I'll be probably sort of rendering it on the computer if I got to do it in join the parts together, and so you might not see this one tonight, you might see this one tomorrow morning. Now these locomotives on the layouts, which we're looking around now, you've got St Class Cleveland Court in Great Western livery, you've got no, stand corrected actually, Cleveland Court's in British Rail Black. With the joys of live video, I just gave you the wrong information then. Yeah, Cleveland Court is in BR Black, with the BR Early Crest in the back there. And then St David's in the front in Great Western livery, Great Western Green. Okay. Tender powered locomotives, they're both tender powered, and they've both got the Ringford motor in the tender. And so has the locomotive you see going around now. And then the there's right in the far station up there, see the train up there, might not see the engine because it's behind the goods shed, but that's a Dean Goods, and that's Hornby. Now every locomotive on this layout tonight are all Hornby, and they're all tender powered. Okay, so what I'll do is we'll be looking at in close detail, and I'm going to tell you why I chose this particular version. And I must admit I was wavering which one to choose. Now there's two versions of this locomotive out. There's an early version, the earlier version, which you see going around the track now, and this is one which I would have been familiar with when I began my hobby back in the 1990s perhaps. It's made in China, but it's like one of the earlier Margate products in its building construction, and that is quite robust. Okay. It's not as detailed as Hornby's later offering, I will tell you that, and if you want to see a comparison between the one I've got on the track here and the later model that was produced by Hornby, then there's a very, very good review on Sam's Trains about both types of locomotive. Now this particular one has got a feature the more modern one hasn't got. Now it might have less detail, but looking at everything in life, I would say look at the plus points, and that's what we're looking at now. This is possibly a very much more durable model, and it's probably stood the test of time. I mean, looking at the state of the wheels, I mean, I don't know how long it's been put into storage for. It may have been in storage for some time, but it's running well now, and nothing's fallen off of it. A few things missing. I mean, there's a vacuum pipe missing off the front and the back, but I've got spare ones of those I bought off eBay. But this one's got a feature which none of my other locomotives possess, and it's a Firebox glow. Really, really nice feature. I'm quite impressed with it actually. Of course, it goes on and off with the power to the track. So I mean, if you had one of these more modern DCC locomotives with Firebox glow, then probably the Firebox glow would be more constant. Well, on here, the Firebox glow you can see on it going as the train's actually running. Okay, the train actually needs to run. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to see that firebox glow. I'm going to zoom right in here now and watch it come round. We will, by one way or another, we'll get to see the firebox glow. Okay, so you can catch it round here now. There, you can see it there. You'll see it go round again. Okay, I've zoomed in for this now. As it comes round, look at the back of the engine. Look at that. Firebox glow, superb. What a lovely feature. Now there's something else. I mean these are all obviously older models, okay? I think probably the youngest model is the Dean Goods, believe it or not, which probably came out in the early 2000s. They're all at least 20 years old, I would have thought, these locomotives. And they've all got a playability factor. And one of the things you'll read on the boxes of all of these in the main, these are all sold as being suitable for a child 3 years of age and up. You just think about that. The more detailed, newer Hornby models nowadays, I think they're not recommended for anybody under the age of 14. Now, I think one of the reasons why that is because obviously with more awareness of different hazards with toys and everything else, these more modern style locomotives got more separately fitted parts which can fall off and present a choking hazard. Okay, I saw a review. I'll have to look up the name of the reviewer. I wouldn't actually name him because he might be happy with his hush, whereas I watched it and thought, well, oh my goodness, that's what I thought. I mean, he had it running around his layout and it derailed a couple of times and bits actually fell off of it as it was derailing. Not good, not good. Okay, the more modern Hornby operating. I'm sorry, Hornby, but you know, I've got to be honest with you, there's a lot to be said for these older models. I could pick this one up. I felt confident about picking this locomotive up without anything falling off of it. Okay, it's got a Ringford motor in the tender, so it was quite easy for me to I knew what I was doing. I just took the tender top off and oiled the mechanism. No problem at all, absolutely fine. And as you can see, it's going around perfect. It was running in a very, very stuttery fashion when I first got it. Like I say, what I needed was an oil in, a wheel cleaning, and I just needed running, that was all. I mean these locomotives do actually respond to being used. Now we're going to have a look at her on the Lazy Susan turntable in a short while. But I thought I'd just let you see what she's like, what she's like running. I must say, I'm getting to like this more and more and more. It was, like I say, stuttery to start with, and as it runs more and more, I think as the oil works its way in and everything else, it just seems to be going better and better and better. It's putting a freight train. I mean, it was designed to pull freight, and from the information I've actually read, I'll be going off the information off the top of my head tonight, but it came out it came out in the early 1900s, these particular locomotives, and the designer was George Jackson Churchward. And you could tell, I mean, all of these locomotives, three of them, you could tell they've got a Churchward cab, and you can see where it gained its heritage from, because he worked under William Dean, his predecessor, and all of these cabs have got basically the same profile. Three of the locomotives on here. This is the 280, you can see go around now. That one's Churchward. Both of the Saint classes, 460s, are Churchward. Obviously, the clue to the name, obviously, but the Dean Goods, designed by Churchward's predecessor William Dean. And I've got to be honest with you, I'm quite happy now. Quite in my element. Sat there now and I could quite happily watch this train go round and round for hours, and I'd be quite happy and content. And the only thing I'd probably turn myself away for is for to either got a call of nature or a cup of tea. I mean, you know, that's, you know, I can sit and watch this for hours. I think it's what these locomotives have got. They've got this playability about them. So he's got that Firebox glow. We're going to zoom back in again. We're back round to that Firebox glow again now. I've got to see it again. I'm loving this. Look at that. You see the glow there, nice and red. Nice hot fire there, burning and giving the steam to the locomotive. The crew are working very hard there. I'm tempted to put a loco crew in this particular one, as long as it don't obscure the Firebox glow. And I think I'll probably get a fireman and a driver in there without any fear of obscuring anything to do with the Firebox glow. Now I think what we're going to do is we're going to be coming in a moment for a little look at her on the Lazy Susan. Now there isn't much. I've got to be really honest about it. I'm not going to spend too long on the Lazy Susan because I won't be able to wait to get it back on the track again. But we're going to uncouple her now. What I'm going to do is we're going to put the camera down here now. Okay. Now you may have saw my my little video I did earlier. I think it was earlier today. Might have been yesterday. Bokeh. Things going in and out of focus, and people are saying, "Oh, isn't it creative and cinematic and all that?" You know. And I actually said, "Well, I want to try and get everything is mainly in focus." What I've done is one tip I will say about this particular one, and I found if you're filming a model railway like I'm doing here, I've got a Canon M50 by the way, is to turn off take it away from the face detection and have it so that the focus is on the middle portion of the screen. I've got a little square in the middle of the screen, so I know if I point the square at, say, at the tender, like where the coal is now, that's going to be, at least that's going to be in focus. Or if I've gone down to the buffer now, I know that's going to be in focus. Okay, so there's a little tip on there. And we're going to uncouple her now, so we're going to focus on the uncoupling part there. Okay, so we'll just take her off the train. There we are, nice and easy does it. Nice and easy does it. Now, this obviously is going to be in a slightly different format to say someone like Sam's Trains, who will probably give you a history first of all. You go close up and personal. You take it to bits and describe the mechanism, and then which is all good stuff actually, a great way of doing it. But I've done this. I've sort of let you see it run first, and then we're going to take you onto the Lazy Susan to take a good close look up at her. It's quite a big locomotive actually, just about fits on the turntable. And we'll see if we can get some extra lights in on her as well. Let's have a look. So let's see how close we can get to it. Okay, so we'll go with this view we got now at the moment. For the moment, seems to me that everything's coming out quite nice. Now, remarks that have been made about this particular model by which was pointed out. Okay. Yes, the running gear is a bit chunkier than the other model, the later model. Well, what I would say in the case with the defence in this, Your Honour, is another reviewer as I often say, I think it gives it a more purposeful look. Okay, you've always got this conflict between detail and durability. And a lot of these highly detailed models now, I'm beginning to get the feeling that they're probably better put in a glass case and admired. And if that's what you know, and if that's what people want to do, fine. And I know detail's important in things. So I just knocked the tripod there with my hand. Got overexcited then. You see a GWR there. One of the normal giveaways, like, you can't say this is the case every time, okay, is that you know this is probably going to be tender driven, or something with a tender driven heritage, because of the coal load. I'll point you there, the coal load in the tender, okay. That's heat quite high, and that's to accommodate the ring-filled motor, okay. Now, you will hear other reviewers talk about getting rid of their ring-filled motors and replacing them with, I don't know, CD drive motors and all other stuff, and saying, oh, you know, I like the ring-filled motor. I'm going to come out in defence of it, really, simply because you can service it, okay. It's got brushes, it's got springs. Get a problem, normally take it all apart, give it a really good clean, replace the brushes if they're worn, put all back together again, and usually, hey presto, a working locomotive. Okay, being tender driven, the locomotive itself is pretty light, okay, light in weight, but you can expect that because obviously it's being pushed by the along by the actual motor that's in the tender itself. Now, some would say, well, that's not, they'd rather have it loco driven, and in many ways, yeah, it seems more authentic to have it loco driven. Obviously, in reality, you'd have the loco work driven, but if it's good enough for Fleischmann, it's good enough for me. And in fact, many of the earlier models, I mean, you'll see Barry Davis's channel, he actually will talk about the earlier models where they had the Fleischmann motor in them. These are all the later Hornby built model, because they copied the Fleischmann motor, but apparently they broke the tooling for it, so these all got they were still tender driven, but they got a different kind of motor. But how much trouble have I had with the ring-filled motor since I've been doing locomotives since 1990, about 1991, 92? How many times have I had to remove the brushes and springs from one, in reality? Have I ever had one breakdown on me? No. Never. Never. I've always had pretty good service from the ring-filled motor, so like I say, I like it. You can see here it's clearly a 280. You've got the 280, and I do believe that this was the first 280 introduced into Britain. Okay. Obviously, the other famous 280, which I've had running on my layout, is the Somerset and Dorset Fowler design 280, and that's a Bachmann model. And again, I think Bachmann are carrying off the detail and durability thing a little bit better than Hornby, but that is an opinion of mine, okay? And I'm sorry, Hornby, if I've come out with that, because I've had loyalty with Hornby for many years, and this locomotive here, I mean, it's fantastic, in my opinion. Okay, there's the read the number on it there, and we'll have a little look at everything in a minute, the box and the instructions. But you can see it would have come with a detail pack containing vacuum pipes there. Like I say, I've got spare vacuum pipes, and I'll probably put those on when I get a chance. Okay, no sprung buffers. You never expected to get that back then. Nowadays, you say, well, it's a luxury feature you expect to get on a premium model. Okay, turning around here now. That's what it looks like from the other side. Again, you've got your lovely GWR on the tender there. Clearly see the reversing rod there, so you know this is a right-hand drive model. Okay, I compare it to cars, you know, with British cars and American cars. So some are right-hand drive, some are left-hand drive. You can normally tell which side your driver should be going on if you're going to fit a crew, because where your reversing rod goes there. Now, one thing that broke on it was actually reviewed by Sam Shearer. You can see it from here. You've got this kind of a brace there. So it's all like a kind of a triangular brace. That on the model Sam's change received was broken, snapped clean off. How that would have happened, I just cannot begin to fathom. Okay, so like I say, I was willing to put up with the well, not put up with, but have the less detail if it meant me having a more durable model that I wasn't afraid to take out the box. You can tell there's your churchboard style cab. You've got the kind of the D section there with no side window. Okay, the cab itself is not glazed. Okay, you don't get glazing in this particular cab. But again, when it's going round and round, you're going to be worried about that too much. And again, the cab itself is all black inside. I'm sure there must be detail in there, moulded detail, but that's all in black. And that is really what you'd expect to get from a model of its time. Okay, the new detailed cabs you're getting in some locomotives. I mean, the one that I saw, you know, on my Batman 7F, I think that detailed cab was absolutely stunning. You know, you know, but again, it's plus and minuses. You can expect to get, and I would take the plus points. I've got a more durable model here. Got to come to the back of the tender. We'll go down there, and again, you can see where the vacuum pipe's missing. It's got the larger D-type couplings, which, in my humble opinion, I don't mind. Okay, it's probably more it just couples up to my wagons better. A lot of my wagons have got the larger D-type couplings anyway, so the small couplings are fine, but I'm quite happy with the larger D-type coupling there. You can see the water filler cap there. You can see up towards the cap there. You can probably see the light coming through where the cab window would be. Okay, and you can imagine this locomotive putting, I think they tried them out, they were going to be putting 60 wagons, and I think from some I've read they would carry as many as 100. Okay, putting. And freight was a very, very important thing on the Great Western Railway. In fact, a lot of the railways back in the time when they were built were originally built to carry freight, so that farmers could get their produce to market. Pit owners, coal mine owners, could get all their goods out to, you know, so people could have their coal fires going and the power stations could be all working. You know, and it just meant, I mean, when a railway came to a particular area, the price of everything just went down because you could get, you know, you can get it from all over the country. Absolutely fantastic, this freight locomotive. I think on busy summer Saturdays to the 1950s, very much like on the Somerset and Dorset Railway, even though this is a freight engine, I think these were occasionally pressed into service to pull passenger trains. I should imagine that the immense power of this locomotive and obviously the adhesive capabilities of it, it's got 8 driven wheels, would have meant that it was probably very, very good going up over the steep banks of Devon from Newton Abbot. You can see the colour of it there, it's in beautiful, beautiful green as well. I think we're going to be running out of time on there because I want to do this one in a half an hour time limit on my camera, and we're on 23 minutes now, and I feel like I've already scratched the surface. It's got separately fitted handrails there, and yes, there's details which the more modern ones got. It's got like there's the more modern ones got detail under the cab, but then when it's going round, are you that worried? You know, and it's got that lovely. You saw the lovely glow on it, the actual Firebox glow. It's also got apparently it's got a smoke feature built in. You put smoke oil in it. I haven't saw how it works. I've got a feeling it might be actually disconnected, and if it is, I'm not that worried because I won't be putting smoke oil into it. I don't think. If it felt cool, it feels cool around here. So I mean, if there was a smoke unit going in there. Sam's trains, he had a problem with his, where his actual smoke unit actually melted the top of the smoke box, and his chimney went on the wonk. But this one, I've not had any problems with the smoke unit in there, so that's perfectly fine. But is there again? There's a feature there if I want it. Number 2847. Number 2847. Okay. See the various views of her, mainly from above. I think we've captured a lot of what it looks like from here. Because it's a freight locomotive, the safety valve cover there is painted green. Okay. Freight locomotives wouldn't usually be as ornate as their express cousins, but you can see it's got the brass whistles at the back, or representation of brass whistles. Can number on the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this one back onto the track. I'm going to have a go round. A nice little look round her now. Really nice little locomotive. Like I say, okay, you can argue it's not as detailed as the more modern version, but it's a lovely representation of the locomotive. Am I happy? You bet. Okay, so here we go. Let's put it back on track, shall we? So we're going to go over to there now, and you'll be able to see me do this. I'm here to move the Lazy Susan out away as well. Now with the 280 locomotive and with coaches and everything else, I'm finding at my sort of time of doing things, I'm getting on very well with this railing ramp. Again, I keep saying, if you haven't got one, as the song goes from the 60s, make it easy on yourself. Okay, and do it, yeah, get one. That's on my experience anyway. Now we're going to wash and pull away now with this rather impressive freight train. And we might wrap things up just for now. And I'm going to make another video later on, which will show all these tender-driven locomotives in action. I'm going to zoom out slightly, so we'll watch it, see more of it going around the layout. There we go. And let's just get her underway. Firebox below, you can see that going around now. Probably going a little bit fast for a freight train, but there we go. It stutters slightly there. It's got that occasionally. I don't think it's a locomotive just there, okay? I don't think it's a locomotive, that's a problem. I think it's a track. I've got a couple of loose fish plates around there. In fact, I can give her, we'll give the track a bit of a wiggle, then we'll bring her around again. I think what's happening is that there's a slightly loose fish plate here somewhere, and we're getting just a little bit of hesitation there. Okay, so let's bring it around again. So I want you to see this in its best possible light. There it is over there. Look, together with its other trains. Look, I think this now with all it full of trains. We're looking around now with all the other trains here. I know it looks. I'm going to put a few buildings over there, I think, but it looks like it's got all the action on it now. You know, that it looks. You know, it really looks a bit like I would expect to see on a Hornby train set box. You know, you've got all this action going on now on here. I think I've probably now crammed in as much as you could possibly cram into a 6 foot by 4 foot layout. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get much more than that on top of a standard single size bed, is what I've done. There we are, it's run through there now without any hesitation as well. Picking up speed now. Okay, so I should bid you farewell. And thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've not done that already. Very important to my channel, be very much appreciated. And I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed and supported my channel up until now. And I shall bid you farewell and good night. So I'm going to try and get this locomotive video out quite shortly for you. Okay, so thank you very much, and bid you farewell and bye bye.